Good morning, everyone. My name is Ravi Kapur, and I'm with KAXT, America's most diverse television station, situated right here in the Bay Area. It's an absolute honor to be here since less than a year ago, KAXT in its current form didn't exist and almost didn't come to fruition. I'm a journalist by trade who continues to actively report, so I'm going to tell you a story, our story, and hopefully you'll see why preserving spectrum for over-the-air broadcasting is essential in the effort to have media that is truly reflective of our society today. How I'm even sitting before you today is testament to the American dream. I'm of Indian descent, born and raised right here on the peninsula, and went to high school just a few minutes from the Stanford campus. My first appearance on television was when I was 8 years old on a show called Cartoon Classics on Coffee TV 20, and from that point forward, I was hooked. In high school, I interned at a low-power television station in San Francisco, KBI TV 30. It was a new station, and I only discovered it by accident while flipping through the dial. It was an incredible experience, one where I got to work hands-on and learn the television business from the ground up from the owner-operator himself. After going back east for college and working at a number of television stations and technology startup companies, about 2 years ago I reconnected with my mentor from KBI, Warren Trumbly. He's in the audience today, and now he's my business partner. He won't admit to it, but Warren is a visionary. He told me years ago that the digital TV transition, which only took place last year, could finally level the playing field in television, in some sense, by allowing stations to broadcast multiple streams of programming at the same time. He spoke about the importance of localism at an FCC hearing held in Monterey 6 years ago, when he was the president of the Community Broadcasters Association, imploring the FCC to look after low-power broadcasters. He said then those 2,600 stations, quote, represent the broadest spectrum of programming and the greatest diversity and ownership of any media. There are more minority-owned and operated LPTV and Class A television stations than all other media combined. His words still ring true today, yet it's clear to me now that I'm in ownership that little is being done to foster true diversity in broadcasting. Deregulation has effectively killed independent voices in our industry. Today, right here in San Francisco, we have 3 duopolies in television and a corporation that runs 10 radio stations. This was not the case when I was young, and I implore the Commission to please get away from the lobbyists within the Beltway and actually see what the Telecommunications Act of 1996 has done to the Fourth Estate. My sensibility is as a journalist first, and so when you see thousands of your colleagues laid off so a corporation can squeeze out a couple of more pennies in their earnings report in an industry specified to serve the public interest, something has to be done about this. Policies need to change. In one of the most diverse areas in the country, KAXT is in effect the last locally owned and operated television station, and not enough people know about us because we're not on cable or satellite. With rare exception, Class A low-power television stations have no must-carry rights, yet we have the most mandates on us. We have to air at least 3 hours of locally produced programming a week, a requirement not imposed on full-power stations, all of whom have cable and satellite must-carry. KAXT is already going above and beyond that statute. We are using our allocated spectrum to the max, broadcasting 12 video channels, 3 radio on TV channels or audio channels, with 5 more in the works. That means our little station by the end of the summer will have 20 channels in all, and we even have 3 mobile DTV channels in testing as we speak. All of this is on one 6 megahertz TV channel, and it's hard to understand why anyone could claim we are not efficient spectrum users unless their agenda is to take our spectrum away. What we're doing today is at the core of why folks were granted FCC licenses in the first place, serving the needs of the community, telling the stories that need to be told. In the crowd today are a whole host of our programmers who make up the most diverse lineup ever assembled in traditional over-the-air broadcasting. These folks saw a pent-up demand in the market and have put together news, entertainment, and cultural programming for their communities at a time of great recession. They are training at-risk and disadvantaged youth to write, report, edit, and shoot. They are tearing down stereotypes and putting on programming that is universal in nature so all Bay Area residents can get indoctrinated a bit into each culture. The opportunities facilitated by the KAXT platform are immense. Right now, KAXT features 2 24/7 Vietnamese channels, the country's first ever free South Asian channel, multiple English and Spanish language channels, and coming this summer, 24/7 channels catering to the Korean, Chinese, and Filipino communities, not to mention a business and real estate channel. Now that's diversity. And it's all coming from a small operation. We're not charging $15 or $20 a month to our communities of color for one single channel of ethnic content. All of our content is available over the air for free. Is KAXT an anomaly? Well, as of today, there's no question we are. And were it not for a brave decision by some good people at the FCC last year to help us get a license, we would not likely be on the air today. You see, as an analog station without must-carry, Warren struggled in recent years to keep KAXT solvent and almost shut down the station entirely in 2008. But then Warren and I worked together to change up the business model and take the station digital. Last summer, 1 week before we were to launch this diverse lineup, a $15 billion conglomerate who already had 2 stations in the market laid claim to the channel frequency Warren requested back in 2007. We thought we were sunk, that this dream of serving the underserved was over. At the same time, the Community Broadcasters Association, the group that advocated for low-power TV in Washington, failed. So the odds of successfully holding on to a digital channel seem slim. Coincidentally, the FCC just released on Wednesday a small entity compliance guide about replacement translators, like the one requested by the $15 billion conglomerate last year, and said that, quote, this rule will have no significant adverse impact on small entities. Well, with respect, that rule almost put us out of business. And it proves the FCC does publish documents that do not accurately measure the true impact on the public. Every replacement translator blocked a channel, closed a door to stations like ours that provide diverse programming, and indeed harmed a small business. Fortunately, in our case, it was the people that fought back. Minority communities, Hispanic, Black, Asian, and Latino, rallied to combat this deliberate attempt to grab more spectrum and more power. It was an event not covered by mainstream media, which really opened my eyes to the way the game is truly played. About a month later, we were able to settle, and the FCC allowed us to proceed, and that is a real credit to them. This whole saga will be featured in an upcoming documentary by Jonathan Cho, a journalist from Chicago. He's in the crowd now, shooting this right now, and we believe it will be one of the most insightful looks into the broadcast industry ever done. We still have immense challenges to overcome at KAXT, but we are humbled by the gratitude expressed to us daily by all of those who watch us over the air. There are 70 channels available for free throughout the Bay Area that can be picked up with an $8 antenna right now. It's pretty amazing stuff. So the next time you're at home, please check out KAXT. Connect a rabbit ear antenna to your TV and scan for the little station that could, because there are still a few of us making strides to cover this vibrant community. While the internet is terrific, it is point-to-point and not able to do point-to-multi-point communication like digital over-the-air broadcasting. They are completely different beasts. Wireless, cell phone, and internet technology have major limitations. One person can't send one message to 1 million like broadcast. Each technology has a preferred use. Taking broadcast spectrum for yet unidentified use by mega corporations should not be part of the FCC's policy. The only way to reach a mass audience is broadcast, and it is because of this spectrum that we can finally showcase all points of view here in the Bay Area. To take away TV spectrum now, a year after the transition, would be a grave mistake. Remember, when we cut off access to information at the fringes, we hurt those who need such information the most. It was the FCC Commissioner Michael Copps himself last year who said, quote, that the sad truth is diversity of this great nation is not reflected in the ownership of its media and its telecommunications facilities. So to the good folks of the FCC and our local, state, and federal leaders, please work with the low-power TV industry more closely. Help get qualified stations serving the public interest obtain the cable and satellite must-carry rights they deserve. Follow the FCC Advisory Committee on Diversity's own credo to, quote, enhance the ability of minorities and women to participate in telecommunications and related industries, a quest the Commission's been trying to tackle for decades. Because at this rate, without help soon, stories like ours will cease to be possible. Thank you all very much.